I am Monique Shaw. I am the founder of I Am Media Productions. And tonight we are inside one of our creative labs. Now, this is a mentorship session called When Makeup Becomes Character with Ngozi Olandu Young. Now, these sessions exist for one reason: to give you direct access to the people doing the work at the highest level, from craft to career to the conversations nobody is having in film school. Now, sis has a resume. She started on The Wire, making 200 strangers look like they've been living through it. She's built the faces of The Color Purple, and she just wrapped department heading a Spike Lee film with A$AP Rocky and Denzel Washington going toe to toe on screen. Her fingerprints are on some of the most important Black stories ever put on screen. And I'm here to tell you that I am not interviewing from the outside. We were both on Steven Soderbergh's High Flying Bird in New York in 2018. I was a set PA, and she was the makeup department head running the room before the rest of the crew even had their coffee. So when I ask these questions tonight, I already know some of the answers. I just want you to be in the room to hear them. Now, Q&A will be at the end, so start thinking now. And please welcome the incomparable Ngozi Olandu Young.
Oh, thank you, Mo.
Yes, thank you so much. Hey, girl, hey.
We go way, way back.
way back. So before we get into it, I want to know about your hands. When did you realize that what you do with your hands could actually change how someone sees themselves?
I would say definitely at the makeup counter. Though that was like the training ground for me, where you meet every type of race, every type of gender, every type of I would say tax bracket. You would have some students in there, college students who couldn't afford to purchase a lipstick, who are just like, look, I just want to play around. I just need something. I had a hard day. I got this exam. Makeup is my, release. You had people who just expressed themselves through makeup. You had other people who hated makeup, but they just felt like they had to get pulled together. So I just had all different types of people. So me coming in contact with people like that, and just, I would even say it was beyond my hand. It was more of a heart to heart with a lot of the people. I was not into selling the makeup, or I just really wanted to know people and their stories and just try to give them an experience that made them forget all the negativity for the moment.
Exactly. And is that when you realized that you were not just doing makeup, you were actually building character?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because like I said, I would have moms come in who are like, look, they got their twin babies with them and another baby in a stroller falling out. And I'm like, oh, Lord, but how can I get her in and out? But what's the quickest lip color I could do for her that'll last all day, that, she won't have to worry about touching up real quick if she's going out or going to church or something with her family, to the businesswoman who's, again, time is money, like we got to go, to, they were people who did other things, and there were men who would come in, people who were on film, people who worked at clubs. I had politicians. It was just such a huge melting pot of people.
That is amazing. So you were actually able to be in the room with different characters. So that itself was the environment that you kind of came up in.
Yeah, it really was. I remember, and as I'm telling this story, I remember I actually had a client who was homeless, who would come in, and she would just, use her money just like for lips. I mean, we would give her tons of stuff anyway, but I mean, it was just like, I remember looking at her hands and just like, wow, like you really don't have a place to live, and you're here at at Nordstrom. It was just mind blowing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. She was trying to keep her inner spirit beautiful, no
Yeah.
matter her circumstances.
Yeah.
Now, I hear you are a Morgan State student working at a Nordstrom's counter. Debbie Young walks in. Now, for those who don't know, four-time Emmy nominated, Debbie Young is the woman behind some of the most iconic Black faces in Hollywood. Mahershala Ali, Regina King. But what were you doing that made her stop and say, I need her?
Oh my goodness. I was 19 years old at the time. I was I can't remember if I was a sophomore at Morgan, but I changed my major probably about 5 times at 19 because, my parents had a business. Both my parents are doctors and they are first generation. I'm first generation and they are from Nigeria. So it was pretty much like, hey, you're going to school. College is not an option. I don't care how artistic you think you are. You need to make some money and you need to get good grades and you're going to become a doctor or a lawyer, something. So me working at the counter was a bit of an escape, which I loved. But at the same time, I didn't like the pressure of selling products to people. Like they're like, sell, sell, sell. And I'm like, I just want to play. I'm an artist. I just want to color, make people feel good. It's fine. So at the time when I met my mother-in-law, now mother-in-law, Debbie Young, was working with an elderly couple and they were with me for like literally 2 hours and they just wanted to buy one lipstick. And I remember thinking I had not made my goal for the week. And this woman comes up to me and she's like, I would like, I need some help. And I'm like, oh, I'll grab someone. She's like, no, I'll wait for you. And I'm like, you don't want to wait for me. I'm good. I'm with these people. It's going to be long. They're taking forever. And she's like, no, I'll come back. So she went to do some shopping. She came back and I finally wrapped up with the couple and she ended up purchasing almost $3,000 worth of makeup for me. I made my goal for the month in that one sale. And I remember thinking in my head, I'm like, how can you not sound tacky? But I'm like, what in the ham and eggs does this woman do for a living? Like to buy this much makeup? And I thought, I'm like, maybe she's like an Orioles baseball player wife or something. So I asked her, I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know this sounds so crazy, but what do you do for a living? Like you're buying 3 different kinds of foundations. She had absolutely no makeup on. I would not have thought she was a makeup artist. And she's like, I do what you do. I'm a makeup artist. And I'm like, what? So she's like, yeah, she's like, I'm working on a film called The Replacements and it's with Keanu Reeves and I'm purchasing makeup for all the characters in the film. And I'm like, what? You live here in Baltimore? Like I had no idea about the union. I had no idea about that you could do makeup full time. She was like at the time, probably in her 50s when I met her. And she was a grown woman with kids and had been doing this she hadn't been nominated for any awards yet, but she definitely, and this is before social media. So she had definitely been doing her thing for decades when I met her. Yep.
So, didn't just offer you a mentorship. She actually threw you into Amsterdam on the wire. So, nearly 200 extras, one kid, you alone. For
Yep.
every person in the room who has ever been thrown into something they weren't ready for, tell me what happened.
I had done before The Wire, I think I did one other film with her, something the Lord made, and she had already had like her team. I was never, and this is nothing I'll tell you all, I had no desire to be a makeup artist in film and television. I just was like, how much money is it? Oh, y'all don't work all the time. Oh, no, no. I knew I wanted consistent money. And I
That
knew
part?
yeah. And I was just like, so people like, oh yeah, girl, you chose her. You knew what you were doing. I was not trying to get in a union. I was like, okay, that's cute. Why do you have to pay this money to join a union? And I'm paying you for me to do the work. Like it just didn't click for me. I was so young. So when Amsterdam happened, I was just like, you know what? This is either going to make me or break me. This is going to show me and show them whether I'm built for this or I'm not. So I just literally took a deep breath and I was like, it is what it is. And let me just do my best. And that's all I can do. And when I did that, to see the executive producer, I'll never forget Nina Noble. She was walking and it was like herds of people with like, I just did whatever I could. My dad was He owns a halfway house in the heart of the city in Baltimore, and it was for a drug rehab program. So I would like ask him like, oh, if someone's on heroin, what would they look like? Again, this is before, the World Wide Web was was not booming like it is now. So my dad was my resource for all of that. So I already clicked in to do the research. I clicked in to be efficient with my time because I kept thinking in my head, I didn't want to let Debbie Young down. She brought me in to do this. And I felt like everything was riding on that. So I was the only person to do the work and it was on me. So it was just like either I do it or I can't. And I'm just like, you know what? All I can do is try. This is not by accident. I never knew being a makeup artist like this would ever exist. So I really just, took the moment.
Yes. So you have 200 well-dressed people coming into work and you got to dirty them up. You got to pop marks. And so what is the technical of making these zombies, let's
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. The technical portion was, I was thinking, I remember talking to one of the ADs and I'm asking like, what is the shot going to look like? Are you just going to be swiping the camera? Will it be any close-ups? Because I knew, again, I don't know where, and it's not like I've done a ton of TV shows at this point. This is probably my first television show. I was like, you know what? If I was a camera, what would I pick up? So I just started big first. I was just like, everybody's going to look ashy. It's cold outside. I know ash is going to really pop. So I literally was like, everybody, here's some powder, do your elbows, put some on your neck, pass it down. I knew that was going to be the big wash because I can't have people out there with nice dewy skin if they're on drugs. I knew that. and it's the wintertime. If it was summer, yes. I mean, I've seen a lot of people who have been, using, and I mean, they have beautiful skin and it's summertime and it's gone, but because it was wintertime, I was like, you know what, we need some ash to keep things going. So ashy lips, ashy everything. So that was my big thing, was to start big and then I would go in with details. So I would say, okay, with some people I'll do needle marks or pimples or, whatever infectious, scab I can make for, really quickly. So that's how I started. I started really, really big and then I went in with the details.
Wow. Well, good thing Dad Pops was on the call so you could actually get specifics.
Yep.
A takeaway from that, if someone is watching this right now and they're starting from zero on Monday morning, no connections, no credits, no kit, what are the first 3 moves you want them to make this week?
First 3 moves is to get your mindset right. With this industry, if you do not center yourself, whether you believe in something bigger than yourself, whether you just think you're here by chance, whatever it is, you must center yourself. I would say that because the mindset is everything. You can literally be kind of caught off guard by some things that may come at you. You're in this industry. It's a lot of different energy that comes your way, and you really need to protect that. So that would be my number one thing, is to center yourself. And then from there, to know that you are to bloom wherever you are planted. So if you are chosen to be like, okay, you're like, for instance, my wonderful sister who I love, she got called to do theater. And again, no resume, no nothing. This is her first big makeup job, especially without me. She's not assisting. She has nothing. And she calls me. She's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm literally sitting here and wiping sweat off people. And I'm like, girl, you better wipe that sweat. Like, you're the best sweat wiper around town, okay? Like, do not think that you're in this small little space for a small reason. Okay,
Right.
that's number 2. So bloom wherever you are planted. It's not by accident that you were there. That job will lead you to the next thing that you do, and people are watching you. And I'm like, girl, you don't even know you're getting tested right now. If they could trust you with the small stuff, they know they can trust you with bigger stuff. So I had to like walk her through that because the ego, again, it gets in the way, but that takes you back to your mindset, right? So don't because everybody wants to be validated and feeling all big and, whatever, overnight you want to fast. I get it. But I have been in this industry for almost 30 years. It'll be 26 years this year. 26 years. I started at 1920. And if I told you how many times I walked away from a job where an actor loved my work or an actor didn't love my work, or I have it mean nothing. It cannot shake me because I know I'm here for a bigger purpose. And now you're taking to your number three. To know what your purpose is. Like every job isn't always about the work. So I know for me, that's what moves me. Some people are just like, hey, I'm here for the paycheck, and that's fine. I'm not judging them. That's their purpose. That
Right.
that is what their goal is. I know my purpose is there to pour into people, no matter if it's a PA, no matter like Mo, you and I never knew that you would have something like this years from then. You and I just genuinely connected and
Mhm.
you were so passionate about the business and you were telling me about things that you were doing outside of what we were working on. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I knew my purpose there was to connect and exchange, great stories with people. So those would be
Yes.
my top three.
I love it. I love it. And the great thing about working in the film industry and the way that I touch everyone that I've worked with, because you guys are like my set family. Like we
We're
would,
together for such a long time.
yes, girl, I know your coffee order. I know when you don't have your sides. Here go my sides. Now, you know you're taking my last sides, but we in
Yeah.
this together. And it's very important for the students and the creatives sitting on this call to understand that when you get on set, you are rehearsing also. This is a rehearsal for your next job because you're
Yeah.
not going to find the next Michael B. Jordan job on Indeed. It's not going to be on LinkedIn. But I'm going to tell you, his producers or another PA or an AD is watching you and they want to bring you with them. So just keep
Yeah.
that in mind. I love those three points. So let's talk about your mom. What does your mom think that you do for a living?
My mother, thank goodness, she knows what I do for a living now. She let's just say she approves of it now.
Okay.
Um well, thank goodness I had my mentor, Debbie Young, who we spoke about earlier. So when I told my mom, like, look, I after college, I'm gonna do this makeup thing full time. After college, The Wire was my first full-time job. And my mother was so nervous. She's like, what are you going to do when this is done? Like, you said this is done in 6 months. Like, what? I mean, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why didn't you take the interview with Pfizer, like the pharmaceutical company, and you could have a job for 10 years versus, you having a job for 6 months? She just did not get it. But, my mother-in-law, thank goodness, she really kind of told my mom, like, look, this is how it is. This is the business. Although she is here for 6 months, she can make more than six figures.
Mm-hmm.
Where, somewhere else, I'll have to work a few years at that time. So me making six figures back in 2000 and whatever, that was the early 2000s, my mom was like, oh, okay, we'll see, like we'll see how that goes. And, from there, I would say she definitely, it wasn't until I got nominated for my Emmy and she was able to go with me to the NAACP awards and things like that. She's like, oh, okay. Like, she's on the red carpet, she's posing. She's like, okay, I kind of like this little Hollywood thing you have going on now. Like, but definitely in between the jobs, she's like, are you okay? Like, do you need money? Is everything okay? Like, I don't understand this. How are you not working? Like, how are you off for 6 months and you work for 3 months? She started off as a registered nurse, then a nurse practitioner, now a doctor. So she's all about steady income. She's very grounded. She doesn't get it, but she does know what I do. So she does respect it now. But I had to get some credentials under my belt first.
Right. Right. They just want to make sure that, and I'm a mother and I have a kid in college and I have one going to college in about a year or so.
Go ahead.
Yes. We just want to make sure you land properly. And I
Yeah.
think that, we talked about this in the pre-interview. I believe that is what that was. But I can tell that she's your biggest advocate. She's your biggest cheerleader. I know. She just loves to see you work and see you at work.
She is. She's very, very proud. And I told her the reason why I wanted to do this was because I did not know of a Nigerian makeup artist, a Nigerian artist, period, coming up. So my whole thing was why I hold on to my maiden name And I didn't told my husband this. I'm like, I need for an immigrant to see my name and say, oh, wait a minute, her name is different, just to give some hope. Like, hey, you don't have to have this cookie cutter route of a career.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Right. Now let's go inside the work. Take everyone here inside your trailer at 5 a.m. So
Mm,
outside, all they see is the finished face. They have no idea what your department has already been through before the talent even hits set. So walk
yeah.
us through it.
Well, walk us through just everything. Is it my point of view, or just how we all just set up as a department head? Or
I think when someone walks into the trailer and sits in your chair.
okay. When someone walks into my trailer, sits in the trailer, say it's a 4:42 call, 4:42 in the morning.
No,
Um,
right? That time.
Yes, before they actually get in, I do make sure that, things are wiped down because I'm very particular about my space. I just like it to be open. I make sure there's no clutter. I'm wiping things down. I'm making sure that things aren't too smelly, like perfumey or candly. Like a lot of actors, like for instance, I know I've worked with actors and they hate the smell of vanilla. It's like, oh, you have a vanilla. I don't want her working on me because she smells like vanilla. I mean, they are very finicky and sensitive to things. So I make sure that those kind of things are cleared out and that I'm all set up and ready for their makeup. Some actors love to have a certain kind of music. So I know like, oh, I'm doing Andre Holland, who we work with on High Flying Bird. I know he loves a certain kind of music. I'm putting that on for him. So his mood and vibe is already going. But at the same time, I'm also very aware of if the scene is really sad or slow. I sometimes I'm not going to be playing like, hey, party time, like no club music. I'm very sensitive to, what they're doing for the day. So I pre-read and make sure that I'm reading my sides and making sure that I know and understand the kind of mindset that the actor will be coming into. So when they come in, I'm calm doing their makeup. If they feel like talking, I will talk. If they don't, I won't. I have amazing actors who I absolutely love, and they just come in my chair and go to sleep. And
Mm,
I do their makeup, and it is beautiful. They hug me, they love me, and it is no beef or anything. It is like almost I always say it's like prayer to me. It's almost just like,
mhm,
okay, I'm doing my thing, I'm in my zone and in my flow, and it is what it is. So again, it just depends on the actor. If I'm doing something like with Danielle, what we talked about with the color purple, if she had her bruising or something that I had to do that day, I'm layering and stippling and, adding, blood and all types of things to her to make sure that she's in a good place where I don't have to keep touching her up. Because sometimes with certain scenes, I'm going to make sure that things are locked in so I don't have to keep going in to bother the actor or actress while they're doing such a deep scene. I remember for the color purple for the scene when she was in the jail when she got bruised, I was so protective over her with everybody. Like people will be trying to do stuff with her wardrobe. I'm like, no, 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 don't go in there. Like she give her a moment. You can't. I just took that on. She didn't ask me to do anything, but by me doing that day in the morning, I remember I felt her energy. And I was like, you know what? I feel like she needs to be kind of in a little cocoon or a little protected today because, she has to go really and dig deep, very deep. And there were really tight shots that the director Blitz wanted. So I do remember that day, that morning, setting up and just thinking like, we're going to make things really quiet in here. So I just asked everybody to, hush. This is a deep day for her today. And, my department head was definitely in agreement. Carol Rashid, who's amazing. And yeah, so I would say that is what we do. And then after the actors leave, we pack our things up, get ready to go to set. We may have another wave of other actors, and our day starts there.
beautiful. Just beautiful because when you protect the actor after they leave the trailer and they're still, you know, in your graces and you're still, they know that you're still attached to them. That's a big, big thing for actors, especially when they know that they're going into character and they don't have to watch over their shoulders. They don't have to disconnect from the script. We're here to work, and you being protective over them. That's I'm gonna say beautiful a lot tonight.
Oh,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So from the moment the script hits your hand or your inbox to the moment they call last looks, what does the character actually start being built? When does the character actually start being built?
Oh, the character starts getting built as soon as my eyes hit that page. I'm already in my head like, oh, this could happen, or oh, that could happen. Like for instance, when I read for Spike Lee's For Highs to Lows, ASAP Rocky's character, I was already reading the page like, oh yeah, he's gonna need some tattoos, or he's gonna need this, and I'm already there with it. Um, and it's very rare. I mean, there are some times when I may have a vision, the actor has another vision, the director has another vision, and then the studio has a vision of the character. So at the end of the day, it's not fully my vision. It's a collaboration, of course. Even costume, the costume designer has a vision of the character, and you're like, wait a minute, why are you in what you talking about makeup for? You worry about the clothes, but it is a full collaboration. So I'll say this, it always works out, and it's always even better than what you may have imagined for it to be. If there's something that is really off, I do encourage for people to speak up if it's like, inauthentic, or like, no, like this person is from Jersey. She would never have her hair like blah, blah, blah. Cause I'm from that area. So
Mhm.
it's so many different variations depending on the script and who's involved and what the character is. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. You definitely sound like you lean more into authenticity other than, I guess whatever is assumed. But that is
Yeah.
actually my follow-up question. Every director has a different vision of who the character is. But before you pull one reference or before you even touch one face, how do you get inside what the director actually sees?
Oh, by asking questions, but not like crazy annoying questions. I always, especially as a department head, I do try to have mock-ups of, hey, this is what I envision. Please tell me if this is this in alignment with what you see or whatever. And there's some directors that are like, oh yeah, I don't care what you do. You don't have to show me anything. Do what you do. I don't care. But then there are other directors that are like, no, actually, I was thinking I don't want this color anywhere on set, or I want this person to have warmer colors in the beginning of the scene, but because they've lost their job and then their husband left them, I want her in cooler tones. I want her to look more broken down in this scene, from this scene on. So again, it's all about the collaborative effort, and the communication is definitely key. And I know the directors are pulled in so many different angles when you're starting to, shoot things. So you don't want to ask 10,000 questions, but you just get the gist of, okay, hey, look, this is set here. What do you want the mood to be? And usually a lot of directors and their costume designers, they also send mood boards and things out so you can get what the look and what the feel of what the DP is going to shoot, how the lighting's going to happen. I mean, I've been blessed to have awesome people like that on the team where it's like, oh, we have a lookbook. Great. I have no questions.
That's always good too. But what I'm
Yeah.
hearing you say is that it is okay to ask the director questions. You have to do your own research, but there shouldn't be any hesitancy if there's confusion because you don't want to just assume and go out there and, you don't want to derail the first look at this character. So we're asking questions, correct?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And when we're asking questions, if you are the only department representation, or if you're the leader of your department. So let's say if we're working on an independent film and it's me and I have an assistant, if only I will say this, there have been plenty of assistants that may take it upon themselves to ask director, but that's crossing the line if I am the leader of the department. So I'll say that just to be clear.
Yes, chain of command.
Yep.
Always, always. So next question. Last looks. Second AD calls it. You know your actor is not ready. The clock is running, money is burning, everybody above you is on everybody below you. How do you hold that line? And what does it cost the character when you don't?
Hmm. Well, it depends. I, thank goodness, have not had a lot of. I'm very, we talked about that. Cinema Virgo, so I'm very like, but I don't want to say by the book, but I'm serious about my time. I'm serious about integrity and the things that I say. If I'm reading my advanced schedule, and if I'm like, oh no, I told you I needed 45 minutes for this actor, and you've only given me 30. I'm clear with everybody from the producers all the way down. Like, hey, just so you know, they will not be ready because I'm not going to rush them and get them in a state of mind of, oh my goodness, I'm, frazzled. Again, I am there to set the tone and to keep things very even keeled. Like hair, makeup, wardrobe, we are the first people that an actor sees, and
Yes.
sometimes the last people that they see. So we can set the tone of their day. They literally roll over, get picked up by a teamster, come right into our trailer. So we just
Yep.
want to make sure that things are going smooth with them. So I overly communicate if it's not enough time. But even something like with highest to lowest, I remember I was Spike. He has these amazing, beautiful monitors, and he didn't mind us being so close to the monitors. So I'm looking at our lead at the time, Ilfanesh, who's amazing, and I'm like, kind of going in, and he's like, "You see something?" Like this is while they're rolling, okay? They're doing their lines, everything. He's like, "You see something?" I was like, "I think so." He's like, "Cut." He's like, "Go on in there, do your thing," and I'm like. I respected him so much because he's like me and the hair department head, Lawanda Pierre, were in there fixing what we had to fix. And he gave us our time. He
Love it.
understood. He wasn't like, all right, hurry up. He was just like, y'all good? Y'all need to go back again? Y'all good? All right, here we go. Like he gave us the same respect that directors stop people for camera or hair in the lens. He gave us that same respect as hair and makeup. So I'm forever grateful for him for that because, you can hear whatever stories. People are like, oh, Lord, Spike's so tough. It was great. He is a genius. And I really was really fortunate to see how he really respected, what we had to do.
I love it. I definitely love that because in the AD department, being the first team PA or the base camp PA, I am on the walkie hearing a first AD say, they're not getting wet, they're not getting married, get them out of the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like,
They
but
don't
then
get
you
it.
directors that it's an art and they might be getting married. And
Yes.
also, the first AD may be screaming at you, but then you really are working with hair, makeup, costumes where I want my time. I need my time with the actor, and that's not being communicated. So it has to be an even balance. But I think across the line, when I run my sets, hair, makeup, costume gets their time because it's going to show up on the screen.
Then
And
this is why we love you. This is why
thank
we
you.
love you.
They have me looking crazy. Even in the credits, they're going to say, who did this?
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what nobody talks about is what happens when the character and the environment fights back. Like, what happens when humidity, allergies, a 14-hour shoot in Atlanta, that heat? How do you prep a character's skin for the conditions that they are trying to undo everything that you've just built?
Yeah, that's a beautiful question. A lot of ways we definitely like even things with the color purple. There were some times where we weren't even putting foundation on a lot of people. We might conceal little spots, so we knew it was going to be 110,000 degrees outside with gnats and chiggers and all types of stuff in the grass and ticks and I remember sorry, I'm itching just thinking about it. I remember we were shooting somewhere and we had to have nets on over our hair. My hair was like this, so it was like bugs in my hair. I was like, I can't do it.
Savannah, right?
Yes, it was crazy. But yeah, we definitely try to adjust for those environmental factors. But then again, as well, we have not just fans, we have ice packs for actors in between takes to cool them down. When it's too cold, we have, warming packs and warming tents that locations have set up for them as well. Make sure that they're nice and, and warm and not too cold. And not to be funny, as a makeup artist, I'm constantly on boogie checks in the wintertime because the snot be running. So you
Mhm.
can't have, your lead handsome character and he's all, close, a tight shot, and he has, a little friend up his nose. So it is, you have to be on constant watch for things like that because it can make or break the film. Everyone isn't looking at that. I'm in charge of my department and the things that happen in my department. So my eyes need to be on there. You'll be shocked at the things that could pass through the editing room that no one sees. But then when it's on a big jumbo Tron, screen in the movie theater, you're like, oh my goodness, they had a sleepy in their eye. Oh, I didn't see it. You're kicking yourself, and it's a love scene. So
Oh, oh God. So my family hates watching TV with me because I'll be like, where was the hair department? Why nobody combed this lady hair? Like what? Last looks? None? Like nobody did last looks. No one looked at this lady's hair. So I'm the wrong
seriously.
person to watch a movie with, but you're gonna learn a lot.
Same. I mean, it is even with every hug. Like at first, people are like, "Oh, they just hugged. I don't have to go in there." I mean, even men these days they have like the Beijing, the hairspray fiber stuff that gets on females. You know how many times I'm wiping stuff off. So I'm like, they just hugged. They didn't even kiss and have to go in because she has like a black cast over her face now just from a hug. So it is like you have to be on top of it and constantly looking at the monitor.
Right. And if you're on set and they call last looks and you are at the craft services table, people, you are in the wrong spot because if I see the hair looking crazy, I'm gonna say, oh, she was at Crafty. That's what happened. So, next question. There are creatives that have learned everything from YouTube, and they are good. They are really good. But why does none of that translate the second the cameras roll?
I will say that hmm, there are certain techniques that may be on YouTube. I haven't seen a lot of them. To be fair, there's certain techniques that are nice, quick, easy. You get the concept. You have great, foundation of what you may use to create a certain look. But I will say, for what I do, as far as more realistic things, um, I haven't seen a lot of videos and things that I've seen on YouTube, I can still see the edges of some of the prosthetic pieces, or, things aren't blended just as well. So it doesn't look as authentic. Again, I have an eye of almost 30 years, so I can see things like that. But when it is something like I said, on a big old screen, even something down to someone's eyeliner needs to be on point and straight if that's their
Mm,
character. Because you can see every single mistake because it's magnified on a big screen. So you just have to really have the detail down packed where it looks good under just about every lighting, of course, and that it's blended seamlessly, and that you're just not using just one color. It's almost like you're painting. Like when I'm doing artwork or just a scar, if I'm supposed to do a scratch on someone, I'm not just going to use, oh, red, boom, there's scratch. No, I'm going to use maybe 3 different kinds of red, depending on how old the scratch is. And it's not going to be just one straight line, might be a little jagged in some areas. Those little details, of you taking the time to see the details and to learn how to create the details, that's what separates, you know, someone from, listen, I was not formally trained ever. I was doing things like I would contact my friends who may have been in accidents or hurt themselves in bruises. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you hurt yourself. Can you send me a picture? Because I want to recreate what that looks like on screen. So it's like things like that. I love realistic things. Yes, I'm sorry that they hurt themselves, of course, but my friends
yes.
and family already know. They're like, let me send this. Oh, I hurt my knee. Let me send this to Ngozi real quick and see if she's gonna want to recreate this. So
Yes. I have a friend, I told you in our pre-interview. I just want to tell the room that makeup artists want to see your bruises. It's so nasty, but they love it. They're like, ooh, that's a purple vein. Okay, let me take
yes.
note.
Yep.
But
Yep.
all in the name of research, right?
Yes.
So somebody in this room is about to land their first key position. First week on set, what is the move that separates the ones who get called back from the ones who don't?
Mm, I would say number one is definitely being not just on time, but being there early. That separates so many people more than you know, because you're able to get the lay of the land before you really start hitting your feet to the pavement.
Mhm.
I'll also say people who are relentlessly just aware and not just like, oh yeah, I'm here for a little bit, oh, I'm gonna tap out, oh, I need a break, oh, I'm gonna no, you're in it to win it, and you have a sense of ownership. You are on. A long time ago I was told there's a difference between filmmakers and film workers. If you just want to punch the clock and make your money, that's fine. You may not get called back again, but if you're a true filmmaker, everybody will feel that on set because the
Mhm.
passion will be there, the sense of ownership will be there. It'll be no doubt that you're like, oh, this person, okay, Michael cares about this project. And I can tell because he's here early. He is, I never have to look for him. He's not disappearing, going to Crafty or taking a smoke break or lollygagging all the time, or here just for fun, or here just to be like, oh yeah, I worked on this and really not do the work.
Right. It's like you can smell it. You can smell it. It's like, oh, he just here for a check and he or she is about to make my day so much harder. Let me keep my head down. Let me read my sides and let me just stay clear because they not where I'm at. So I definitely agree with that. And especially being a production assistant and everything rolls downhill.
Oh my
So,
goodness, Mo, like your passion was like fumes. It would just come off of you on set because you would care about every single thing. It'll be I mean, I'd be like, dang, Mo, how did you get all the way over there to the freaking greens people who do the trees? Like, how are you helping them out? How are you supporting them? Like you were like mama on set, the glue, the backbone, everything. Every time we would be like, "Where's Mo? Where's?" I mean, we just knew we could count on you. So you were the perfect example of the passionate person on set.
oh,
Seriously,
I love it, girl. I
it's
love this
true.
industry. You're going to have to draw blood from me to get it out of me because I love it.
You
I
can
love it.
tell.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, before we change gears, if you have a question for Ngozi, drop it in the chat right now. We will get to your questions at the end. And if you want to ask her live, just raise your hands when the time comes and we'll go ahead and bring you in and you can ask for yourself. Now, we're going to change gears a little bit right now. We're going to go into our lightning round. No overthinking, just first thing that comes to your head. You ready?
Ready?
Ready? Okay. Baltimore crab cakes or Nigerian jollof rice?
Oh, jollof rice, man. I don't even eat seafood.
Oh, really? I love crab legs. At the end of a 14-hour shoot, what is waiting for you?
Oh my goodness, a hot bath.
Who really runs the set? The director or the first AD?
Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. Mm. I'm gonna go with the first AD.
I think that's the right answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the first AD.
Yes. Okay. DC, Atlanta, New York. Who has the best on location energy?
Oh, I love all three of those places. On location. Oh, this is so bad. I'm going to go with. I'm gonna go with New York.
I like New York too.
Yeah,
Everything
I'm gonna
looks
go with New
like a
York.
movie scene.
But yeah, the only thing that gets on my nerves about New York is that I can't like just drive my car up somewhere. I got to hop in a van on this intersection and hop on a train. That's the only thing that gets on my nerves. But other than that, the energy is good.
Yes. Yes. So, Ma Rainey, The Color Purple, or Shirley. You're living inside one of them for a full week. Which one?
Mm. Oh man. You know what? I'll say Shirley. Shirley holds a special place in my heart.
Yes. Shirley Chisholm is family. We'll talk about that a little
Wow. Oh my
bit.
goodness.
On my mother's side.
Wow, that is amazing. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely want to hear more about that.
Mhm. Dream department from scratch. Your first hire is technical skills, cultural knowledge, or someone who can handle a 5 a.m. call without complaining.
um yeah, oh Lord. I think the thing that just that was a trigger for me. Probably the 5 a.m. call without complaining. I probably throw them out the window.
I mean, we all here, so why we complain?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
stop
oh,
complaining. That would probably send me. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Sketchbook and references, or just the script? How do you start?
I start with the script and then I go to my sketches.
Interesting.
Yeah, I start with my script.
What do actresses say in your chair that they'd never say anywhere else on set?
A lot. You
It's
see
a
this?
lot.
Everything. When they're on set, I'm like, who is that?
Right. Right.
Yeah. I mean, again, we are like therapists. If you only knew the things that I know, yeah, it's a very intimate part that I play. I'll say that.
They
We
trust
hold all the secrets. Yeah, I'm definitely a vault. Definitely a vault.
I love it. I love it. They have to be able to trust you because it's the set family thing that we talked about earlier. Like we're in it together. And if you can't vent to me and I see you first thing in the morning, like, okay,
Yeah.
let me get this day over with.
Yes.
Well, you did excellent. That was fun.
It
That was
was
fun.
great questions.
How does the next job actually come? Because talent alone is not paying your mortgage. So how do you get the next one?
Hmm. Well, to get the next one, it's a combination of, again, I believe in God, universe, whatever someone may believe in. I know that the desires of my heart are not just desires that are just supposed to be there, that they actually, have the ability to come true with belief and full like intention and focus. So first like for instance, for highest to lowest, I remember a friend of mine bought me a calendar for the year. And I wrote in there in January, I was like, you know what? I'm going to work on some big blockbuster film today this year with A-list actors and whatever. I just closed it up, let it go. And sure enough, I got called in February, like, hey, and it was from the Steven Soderbergh film that we did. I have not worked with this person since then. They were like, hey, look, I'm about to put your name up for this. Like, update your resume and give it to me. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't even know what it was. And then come to find out, as more information was coming out, I'm like, oh, wow, like this is what I wrote down as one of my goals. And all I did was show up, did my job way back when, make sure I, did a great job and, treating people right, how I'm going to be treated, or treating people how I want people to treat my family members. It's not hard. So I know like sometimes when you're in a position where you have to be hired for something, you feel kind of out of control because you're like, okay, when is it going to come? What's going to happen? And it's like, I am in true belief. Like there've been so many times where my phone has not rang at all. And the moment I put my intention, like, okay, you know what? I'm trusting. This is what I want. Let me focus on this because obviously I'm not supposed to be doing that right now. Let me redirect my focus and do what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I immediately get called. Just like that
Mm.
when I let it go. That's what works for me. Hey, I'm only 40 something years old. But that is what works for me. Me and my friend Sandy, we do this all the time. I remember when the film industry pre-pandemic, it was really, really slow. And I would always say, we would plan trips. We'd be like, okay, so we're going to go to the beach on this date. That we never went to the beach because we would always get called by that time, because that was our thing. When we wanted work to come, we would plan a trip. And we knew, okay, work's going to come, because you just release that. It's like you want something so bad, you kind of like suffocate it. It's like, oh, I want it. Somebody call me. The moment you let it go, it's like, all right, we're trusting.
Yeah. I'm hearing you say, be present. You have to be present in the moment. What's coming to you is for you. So just be patient as well.
Yes. And it will not miss you. It won't miss you.
Right. So is there a difference between a makeup artist and a makeup storyteller? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's definitely a makeup artist who, I remember I would joke, a makeup artist friend of mine, we would always get on each other. We have two very different makeup artist techniques, where she will do the same cut crease on every single person. I'm like, how you going to do a cut crease? Sorry. I'm like, how you going to do? Can you hear me?
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me? Sorry. I'm like, how is it that you do a cut crease on someone who doesn't even have an eyelid? You're doing the same exact thing. It's like a cookie cutter approach to what they do. Whereas Storyteller, they take environmental factors, they take, the character that they're building, they take, their story and other things around them. It's like, okay, I am doing this eyeliner in this way because she may not have time, or this is a bit striking to her eye, or, I want her brows or his brows to be a little darker to show how intense he is right now, or, whatever. So it's cookie cutter versus actually telling a full story.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's not character building. It's just leaning more towards what you're used to. And I think that kind of defeats the purpose of film and television. Like, does this character even know what a cut crease is? Like, what story are we really telling, or is it convenient? So
yeah, or even like you touched on before, is it more of, hey, like, I don't want to say fantasy makeup, but it's like there's authentic storytelling, and there's, okay, you know what, we're going to do a little bit more of a fantasy. We know, hey, this is a 1930s thing, but we're going to have shimmer on her crease. It's like, did we have glitter back then? We didn't, but okay, it's stylized. So why not go with it? So it just all depends on the tone of the film.
Okay. Yeah, you can kind of lean in if you need to. It's not prohibited, but it shouldn't be just something that is like a go-to.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So you've hired people and you have also passed on people. What is the real reason somebody does not get called back?
The real reason someone does not get called back, I would say, if they're not a team player. In this business, I've met so many people who are for themselves, but they still may have the ability to kind of do the work, but it's up to a certain point where they're like, I'm good. I'm for me. This is all about me. They probably won't get called back, although they may be wonderful, amazing artists. But if they're like, hey, oh no, I don't do that. Oh no, I'm not doing that. The whole thing I was saying about the whole sense of ownership, it's like, it's not about you. Like, we are literally in a position of service. You are a makeup artist for actors and background actors. And you don't know how many people will be upset if they were in the trailer one day and then the next day they're doing background. It's like, why am I doing background? I got demoted. It's like, you're where we need, like, you're taking it personal. You're right. Like, I've gone in background as a department head or as a key. I'm doing what needs to be done. It doesn't matter. People get so into the titles, and so that separates people who get called back versus someone who's just like, okay, great, where you need me to be? Okay, awesome. It means nothing. I'm doing the work. That's it.
It's mindset, because demotion means sitting on your couch in the living room.
Yes.
It's not the background tent. You're in the background tent because you can handle it. That's volume.
Yes.
That's
And that's what I was going to say. I actually loved being in the background. That's where I started. So just to have that, I love the rush of getting things done. It's like, oh, we only got another hour left. Whereas in the trailer, I'm like twiddling my thumbs, like, what y'all doing out there? Like, I need to go on set. Like, I need something to do. That's just me. I walk fast, I talk fast, I move fast. So I like that rush.
And then when the herd of background get on the bus, I'm like, okay, background, face, let's go.
Right.
Like,
It's an accomplishment.
you working though. You're
Yep.
working. So the
Yep.
location does not dictate that you're not working.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
move into the legacy. Let's move into your legacy. So you went from Amsterdam with one kit to department heading a Spike Lee film. Nobody handed that to you. What did you have to become to get there? And
Mhm.
when did you realize the woman walking on that set was someone that you had to build to?
I'll say this. Because when I grew up, again, I said there was no makeup artist in my family before me or anything. And when I met my mother-in-law, I kind of felt like I had to prove in this business that I was belonging to be there, because I never wanted anyone to look at me like, oh, she got grandfathered in, or she really isn't that good. She's just in here just because of her mother-in-law. I really had to make, like, you know what? No, I'm here because I was a makeup artist before her. And yes, she showed me the ropes, but that was a blessing. So it's almost like, are people looking down on people who are billionaires and their kids, come up underneath are we going to look at Blue Ivy like, you're not talented, like you're just your mother's child? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't take away from my talent. Like, it was definitely a blessing. I mean, I remember I would be like on the call, she like, no, don't put my last name as Young. Just use Olandu. I don't want, I mean, I used to be, and I'm like, what was wrong with me? But it was because it was like, what do they call it now? The imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like maybe I'm not as deserving as I should be to be here. And I did not see the blessing in that until, I definitely got older. So that was part of it, where I'm like, oh, wow, you know what? I have grown so much. I've learned so much. I care about this business. I'm so grateful to be a part of this business. So, yeah, I would say that I definitely struggled with that in the beginning. And even with my sister who's coming up, she's like, there's so many other people who want to be in my shoes. And I just feel like I'm like, girl, if you don't take this blessing, I'll give it to someone else. Like, you don't have to. It's
Yeah.
okay. But I remember feeling the same way. It's just like, we're so used to, oh, it has to be hard. Oh, we gotta work hard. You have to, it's like the blessings come in so many different ways. So I definitely am so grateful for not only me having a mentor, but for me really having the confidence to, like, I mean, when I said yes to the Spike Lee film, I was not like, oh no, am I not ready for this? I was like, oh no, I'm ready. I am ready. And I was overly prepared. I mean, I was really proud of myself.
And I'm proud of you.
Oh,
Because,
thank you.
as
Thank you.
sisters, as Black women, imposter syndrome should literally be on like some kind of medical chart, because it gets the best of us. And I'll be 50 in August. So
Wow.
I have to keep telling myself when I feel that imposter syndrome creeping up. I look back at homeboy and I'm like, I've done this before though.
Yes, she had.
If I haven't done this before, I'm smart enough to figure it out.
Yep.
And the whole Blue Ivy and LeBron James's son, and what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to
Seriously.
back it down, because we know they
Exactly.
can handle it. And even if there's a trip up, they can get up.
Yes. And can I tell you, even with like, I have, mentees that I have referred jobs to, and it's almost like we are family. We are our film family, of course. And they're just like, oh my goodness, I feel so undeserving. I'm like, girl, you showed up. Like, no, this is your time. Own it. It's yours.
Yes, go get it. Because when it is your turn, you have to look back. So let's go. We going that
And
way.
do the same thing. And there's so many people that would take this opportunity who don't even care and don't even want they're just like, oh yeah, girl, I'm gonna take that. And they will fly off with it and not even have the same heart that you have, So
Exactly.
it's just, it is. And that's another thing. I know that there's so many people with this boss culture, like, oh yeah, I'm a boss. I'm going to be in charge. And I just want to, I mean, my mom and I talk about this all the time. I've always wanted to be in a position of leadership so that I could love on people, right? To
Mhm.
be like, you don't have to be a jerk to be the president. You don't have to be a jerk to be, running something. Like you can actually do it with a great heart and love and kindness and not have to feel like that's weak. So, you know,
Yes. Everyone on this call, if you earn something, it doesn't necessarily have to come from struggle. If it's from struggle or getting it out the mud, that's not even anymore. Once you get that opportunity, make it pop, keep going that way, keep going forward. I'm going to ask you now a question for the girly pops. And this probably is a question directly for my daughter. A$AP Rocky is one of the most photographed black men on the planet. He already has a look. He already has a brand. When he sat in your chair for highest to lowest, how do you turn that into a character?
the most, I don't want to say surprising thing, but when we were told that he was coming on, and one of the producers were like, "Oh, his people going to vet you guys and see if he needs to bring his own." I was like, I don't care. Like he can bring his own personal person. It's fine. And just for those of you who know, once you're a certain kind of celebrity, you get to come with your own hair, makeup, wardrobe team. So sometimes a lot of actors may do that. So we were like, it's fine. Like it is all good. So when they were like, okay, great, you passed the vetting test, he's gonna come. You all are gonna do him, and that's that. I was like, okay. So for his character, when I read it in the scripts, like I said, I was just like, oh, he probably gonna have some tattoos. I don't know if he wanted, anything else or scars, anything on him. So I made sure I ordered just about every single kind of tattoo that I could think of just to have. And when he came in the trailer, he had great energy. He's such an amazing collaborator, such an amazing artist, just an amazing being, period. Right. Just, you could just, the creativity was, like I said, like fumes coming off of him. So he was just such a great person. And when he came in, some whatever got lost in translation. He thought his people sent over a certain tattoo that he wanted me to print. I never got the tattoo, but he was so relieved when he saw I literally had a whole trailer length of tattoos for him to choose from. He was like, "Yo, you ordered all these?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like he was like, "Oh my
What?
gosh." He's going down the line. All right, I want this one. Let's get this one. I'm like, okay. So he already like earned his trust because I was more than prepared. So, I mean, from there, he just was like awesome with collaborating. It was great. So, I mean, we would like try on different tattoos. Like he had, I think it was like a Glock 9 on the side of his neck that had bullets that came around this way. He had a tear on one eye. And then for young felon, a Y and an F on the other eye. So we would play around with certain things. And he's like, oh yeah, I like this. And he loved the fading. Like I had the tattoo people kind of print them so it looks a little older. Cause I'm like, you really don't have a lot of money. That's why you're desperate doing these things.
Right.
So, I didn't want these to be these rich, detailed tattoos, but at the same time, you could tell they were aged a little bit. And, so we covered up his A$AP tattoos. None of those were showing, but we layered them with the young felon tattoo. So it was a great collaboration, and definitely, like I said, surprising. I didn't know what to expect, but he was great. He was amazing.
Okay, Gazi, you know about the prison tattoos. Let me find out. You know about the prison tattoos.
Yeah, that's exactly what we call them, prison tattoos. Done in somebody's basement, or I don't know.
Oh, now, what does the industry still get wrong about black men's skin? I'm sorry, about black men's skin on screen.
Mm, I would say, well, you know what? I haven't seen it wrong lately. Thank God for shows like Insecure,
Mhm.
and even back in the day, the things like with The Wire. Black men can be. They don't need to be all flat and matte. Like our skin is three-dimensional, and Sheen creates the dimension. So we don't have to be this whole flat look like we used to powder everybody back in the day and make everyone matte. And even with some of my non-Black folks, like I'm like, have a little Sheen pop, it creates a little something, you know what I mean? So it makes you feel like you're literally there in the film with who you're watching. So yeah, I would say definitely the whole Sheen thing. Everyone doesn't have to be matte. It's okay.
You have to have dimensions to the skin.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Well, we're going to get into some questions, but one last thing I want to ask you. If you could put one tool, one thing that they cannot Google into the hands of every young creative in this virtual room today, what would that be?
I would say, I don't know how many of you all still imagine or have dreams. I know as a child, because I didn't come from a lot of money, I would always just dream and imagine certain things. Don't stop doing that, because it may seem kind of weird and crazy at first and like childlike, but that is literally what will set you apart from you just settling for certain things, and then you're getting closer for things that you might really desire. I'll say that. So definitely just keep your visions going. And I feel like that is like the best gift that no one can take away from you, is just like you coloring with your mind and your imagination.
Yes. And I think we also talked in the pre-interview about a library card.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Go to the
Having
library.
Yeah, yeah, we did talk about that with as far as research. That's one of the best things that I did as far as research. Instead of you just Googling, hey, what did people wear in the 1920s? If you're on the internet, I can pop up anything and say, oh, 1920s, everyone had this color blue on their eyelashes, and that will pop up. Really can't sort what's real and what's not on the internet all the time. So you literally getting a library card and going to the library and seeing real life magazines that were, printed in the 1900s, early 1900s, and to know like, okay, in Chicago, people had this certain color. Over here in Virginia, people wore this certain color during that time because the mill factories were blah, blah, blah. Like there's always an amazing story that you can find in a library that is a little harder for you to kind of differentiate what's real and what's not when you Google it.
Right. So dream and read books. That
There
really
it
imagination also.
is. Yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, that's all the questions that I have. I know that everyone has been sitting and they have their questions. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to Imani.
Ngozi, that was an amazing interview. I really
Aw.
learned a lot and was very inspired. I love makeup just in general, but to hear from the perspective of film and movies was very insightful. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
What's your current desire for the makeup industry as it pertains to inclusion and diversity?
One thing that I would love to see is more people of color doing special effects. I feel like they're like unicorns right now. And it's because when I was coming up, I wanted to do special effects, but for me to afford to go to school in Canada, it was a school called, well, still is a school called Complexions or Mud Academy in New York. I couldn't afford to do that starting out. So that's why I didn't do special effects. But it's the access that a lot of us may not have. So that would be something that would be great to see, and that I rarely see.
Yes. Okay. I am a PA now, an actress and a writer. I did not think this call or this call period would be something that I just thought it was about makeup. This was very informative.
Aw.
It answered a lot of questions for me, and it showed me that I am doing right at this new job that I have as well. because I'm that person too, Miss Mo. I'm the one that they call like, okay, where's Clark? Where's Clark? She got it. She got it. She got it. So just to hear that was you guys too. I'm glad I'm starting out in a good space, and this was helpful. So that's all I got. It wasn't a question, but thank you for that.
No, thank you, Clark, for sharing, because that was definitely my goal. I really didn't want to speak to the makeup artist or hairstylist. The things that I've learned from being on set. I mean, I've even learned from PAs and from writers as well. It is just like we all really make it all go around. So it's definitely, again, it's that collaboration. So I'm so happy to hear that. And congrats on your new position.
Thank you. I'm tired already, but and I'm always the first one there. I'm 30 minutes early everywhere.
There it is.
Clark reached out to me on LinkedIn, and she's been really, really trying to, tap me and figure out some tips on how to get on set. So Clark, I am so super duper proud of you. This is your first of many jobs, and being a production assistant is exactly where you need to start. So congratulations to you.
It is. And I'll tell you this too, when I look at, I don't know if you all are familiar with Anthony Hemingway. He's an amazing director. He directed All Is Fair and the O.J. Simpson, whatever. Like, he's done tons of things. I remember when he was literally a PA before he was the first AD, way back in the day when I started. So just to see the trajectory of his career, I mean, to this day, I remember way back when he would look at me and he would say, "You're gonna make it in this business." I'm like, "What? You think so?" Okay, he was an AD at the time, but I remember him being a PA. And you are not there by accident. So learn, soak up, pour into people. You are there for a reason. And I'm just so proud of you. The fact that not only are you a creative, because I heard you say, I believe you're a writer as well, that you're also able to, be a PA. Like, that's hard to balance. So you just make sure that you continue to center yourself and show up every day.
And I have to say, before we close, Mother's Day is this Sunday. And even through this screen tonight, I cannot help but to think about the women who made you possible, Ngozi. Your mother, who came from Nigeria and wanted you to be a doctor. Your mother-in-law, Debbie Young, who stopped you at a Nordstrom's counter and changed your entire life. And now you, raising a daughter and having a family, they are watching everything that you do. This is the real legacy in this room tonight.
And I did want to also attach to that, Mo, my grandmother and great grandmother as well. I want to acknowledge them because I really didn't have a close relationship with them because they lived so far away. And this is just for those of you out there who may feel like, I don't know if you have relationships with your mom or not, but this is on my heart to say. Like, sometimes, I believe in signs and things like that. And I remember my grandmother, I maybe met her 4 or 5 times in my life, and I made a dress out of silk, and I went to go visit her, and she just was like, "Oh my goodness." Like, and she said in her language, she doesn't speak any English. She didn't speak any English. She's gone and passed and transitioned, but she told me, as long as I have my hands, that I will never be poor. And I remember taking that with me, and I'm just like, oh my God, again, I did not have a relationship with her, but just, try to find those little signs of things, that are like, okay, that's my sign. I'm going the right way. So just wanted to put that out there.
I want to let the people know where they can find you.
They can find me on social media at Ngozi Beauty, Gozi Beauty. I'm on Instagram with at Ngozi Beauty, Threads, and all the good stuff.
Yes. Well, happy Mother's Day to you.
Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. And you as well.
Thank you. This is Creative Labs, where makeup becomes character. Good night.